Namaste, myself Triveni Khurana, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, JVN, Rajasthan. Today we are going to discuss about ultrasound therapy. Ultrasound is a form of mechanical energy, not electrical, and therefore, strictly speaking, not really electrotherapy at all, but does fall into the electrophysical agent groups. Mechanical vibration at increasing frequency is known as sound energy. The normal human sound range is from 16 Hz to something approximately 15 to 20,000 Hz. Beyond this upper limit, the mechanical vibration is known as ultrasound. The frequencies used in therapy are typically between 1 and 3 MHz. 1 MHz is equal to 1 million cycles per second. Sound waves are longitudinal waves consisting of areas of compression and rarefaction. Particles of a material, when exposed to a sound wave, will oscillate about a fixed point rather than move with the wave itself. As the energy within the sound wave is passed to the material, it will cause oscillation to the particles of that material. Clearly, any increase in the molecular vibration in the tissue can result in heat generation, and ultrasound can be used to produce thermal changes in the tissues, though current usage in therapy does not focus on this phenomenon. In addition to thermal changes, the vibration of the tissue appears to have effects which are thermal changes, generally considered to be non-thermal in nature, though as with other modalities such as short wave, there must be a thermal component, however small. As the ultrasound wave passes through a material, that is a tissue, energy levels within the wave will diminish as energy is transferred to the material. Energy absorption and attenuation characteristics of ultrasound waves have been documented for different tissues. Now, what is the frequency? The number of times a particular experience a complete compression or rarefaction cycle in one set, typically 1 or 3 MHz. What should be the wavelength? Or what is wavelength? The distance between two equivalent points on the waveform in the particular medium. In an average tissue, the wavelength at 1 MHz would be 1.5 millimeter, and at 3 MHz it would be 0.5 millimeters. Now, what should be the velocity, or what is velocity? The velocity at which wave or disturbance travels through the medium. In a saline solution, the velocity of ultrasound therapy is approximately 1500 milli per second, compared with approximately 350 milli per second in air, as sound waves can travel more rapidly in a more dense medium. The velocity of ultrasound therapy in most tissues is thought to be similar to that in saline. These three factors are related but are not constant for all types of tissues. Average figures are most frequently used to represent the passage of ultrasound in the tissues. Typically, frequencies from therapeutic equipments are 1 and 3 MHz, though some machines produce additional frequencies. And the long wave ultrasound device operate at several tens of kilohertz beyond human hearing range. Now, US waveform, ultrasound waveform or beam is not uniform and it changes in its nature with distance from the transducer. The ultrasound beam nearest the treatment head is called near field. The interference field or Fresnel zone. The behavior of the ultrasound in this field is far from regular, with areas of significant interference. This energy in parts of this field can be many times greater than the output set on the machine, possibly as much as 12 to 14 times greater. The size or length of the near field can be calculated using R2/L, where R is the radius of the transducer of crystal and L the wavelength. according to the frequency being used. It may be 0.543 MHz and 1.5 millimeter for 1 MHz. One quality indicator for ultrasound applicator or transducer is a value attributed to the beam non-uniformity ratio, that is BNR. This gives an indication of this near field interference. It describes numerically the ratio of intensity peaks to the mean intensity. For most applicators, the BNR would be approximately 4 to 6. That is, the peak intensity will be 4 or 6 times greater than the mean intensity. Because of the nature of ultrasound, the theoretical best value for the BNR is thought to be around 4, though some manufacturers claim to have overcome this limit and effectively reduced the BNR of their generators to 1. Now, ultrasound transmission through the tissue. How? All metal or tissue will present at impedance to the passage of sound waves. These material or tissue specific impedance determined by its density and elasticity. In order for maximal transmission of energy from one medium to another, the impedance of the two media needs to be as similar as possible. Clearly, in the case of ultrasound, passing from the generator to the tissue and then through different tissue types, this cannot actually be achieved. The greater the difference in impedance at a boundary, the greater the reflection that will occur, and therefore the smaller the amount of energy that will be transferred. Example of impedance values can be found. Difference in the impedance is greatest for the steel or air interface, which is the first one that ultrasound has to overcome in order to reach the tissues. To minimize this difference, a suitable coupling medium has to be utilized. If even a small air gap exists between the transducer and the skin, the proportion of the ultrasound that will be reflected approaches 99%, which means that there will be no effective transmission. Now, transmission through a coupling medium. The coupling media used in this context include water, various oils, cream, and gel. Ideally, the coupling media should be fluid so as to fill all available spaces, relatively viscous, so that it stays in place, have an impedance appropriate to the media it connects, and should allow transmission of ultrasound with minimal absorption, attenuation, and distribution. What is absorption and attenuation? The absorption of ultrasound energy follows an exponential pattern. That is, more energy is absorbed in the superficial tissue than in the deep tissues. In order for energy to have an effect, it must be absorbed, and at some point this must be considered in relation to ultrasound dosages applied to achieve certain effects. Because the absorption or penetration is exponential, there is no point at which all the energy has been absorbed, but there is certainly a point at which the ultrasound energy levels are not sufficient to produce a therapeutic effect. As the ultrasound beam penetrates further into the tissues, a greater proportion of the energy will have been absorbed, and therefore there is less energy available to achieve therapeutic effects. The half value depth is often quoted in relation to the ultrasound, and it represents the depth in the tissue at which half the surface energy is available. These will be different for each tissue and also for different ultrasound frequencies. To achieve, there is a pulsed ultrasound also. Most machines offer the facility for pulsed ultrasound therapy outputs, and many clinicians this is a preferable mode for treatment. The pulse duration or the time during which the machine is on was almost exclusively 2 milliseconds, that is 2 thousandths of second with a variable off period. Some machines now offer variable on time, though whether this is a clinical significance has yet to be determined. Typical pulse ratios are 1:1 and 1:4, though others are available. In 1:1 mode, the machine offers an output for 2 milliseconds followed by 2 millisecond rest. In 1:4 mode, the 2 millisecond output is followed by an 8 millisecond rest period. The effects of pulse ultrasound are well documented, and this type of output is preferably especially in the treatment of the more acute lesions. Some machines offer pulse parameters that do not appear to be supported from the literature. Example 1:9 and 1:20. Some manufacturers describe their pulsing in terms of a percentage rather than a ratio. Example 1:1 is 50% and 1:4 is 20%. The proportion of time that the machine is on compared with the off is a relevant factor in dosage calculation. There are some therapeutic effects. One of the therapeutic effects for which ultrasound has been used is in relation to tissue healing. It is suggested that the application of ultrasound to injured tissue will, amongst other things, speed the rate of healing and enhance the quality of repair. The following information is intended to provide summary of some of the essential research in this field together with some possible mechanisms through which ultrasound treatment may achieve these changes. It is not intended to be a complete explanation of these phenomena. It may nonetheless provide some useful basic information for clinical applications. Therapeutic effects of ultrasound are generally divided into thermal and non-thermal. What are the thermal? In thermal mode, ultrasound will be most effective in heating the dense collagenous tissue and will require a relatively high intensity, preferably in continuous mode, to achieve this effect. And what is non-thermal? The non-thermal effect of ultrasound are now attributed primarily to a combination of cavitation and acoustic streaming. There appears to be little way of convincing evidence to support the notion of micromassage, though it does sound rather than appealing. What is cavitation? Formation of gas-filled voids within tissue and body fluids. There are two types of cavitations, stable and unstable. Stable cavitations does seem to occur at therapeutic doses of ultrasound. This is the formation and growth of gas bubbles by accumulation of dissolved gas in the medium. They take approximately 1000 cycles to reach their maximum size. The cavity acts to enhance the acoustic streaming phenomena and as such would appear to be beneficial. What is unstable or transient cavitation? It is the formation of bubbles at the low pressure part of the ultrasound cycle. These bubbles then collapse very quickly, releasing a large amount of energy, which is determinantal to tissue viability. What is acoustic streaming? It is described as a small scale adding of fluids near a vibrating structure, such as cell membrane and the surface of stable cavitation gas bubble. This phenomena is known to affect diffusion rates and membrane permeability. Sodium ion permeability is altered, resulting in changes in the cell membrane potential. Calcium ion transport is modified, which in turn leads to an alteration in the enzyme control mechanism of various metabolic processes, especially concerning protein synthesis and cellular secretions. What is micromassage? Micromassage is a mechanical effect which appears to have been attributed less importance. In essence, the sound wave traveling through the medium is claimed to cause molecules to vibrate, possibly enhancing tissue fluid interchange and affecting tissue mobility. The process of tissue repair is a complex series, chemically mediated event that lead to production of scar tissue that constitutes an effective material to restore continuity of the damaged tissue. The process is more complex and hence it is useful for ultrasound therapy. During the inflammatory phase, ultrasound has a stimulating effect on the mast cell, platelet, white cell with phagocytic role, and the macrophages. Application of ultrasound induces the degranulation of mast cell, causing the release of arachidonic acid, which itself is a precursor for the synthesis of prostaglandin and leukotriene, which act as an inflammatory mediator. By increasing the activity of these cells, the overall influence of therapeutic ultrasound is certainly pro-inflammatory rather than anti-inflammatory. The benefits of this mode of action is not to increase the inflammatory response as such. Inflammatory response is essential to effective repair of tissue, and the more efficiently the process can complete, the more effectively the tissue can progress to the next phase, that is proliferation. Studies which have tried to demonstrate the anti-inflammatory effect of the ultrasound have failed to do and have suggested that ultrasound is ineffective. It is effective at promoting the normality of the inflammatory events and as such has a therapeutic value in promoting the overall repair events. A further benefit is that the inflammatory chemically mediated events are associated with stimulation of the next, that is proliferative phase, and hence the promotion of the inflammatory phase also act as a promoter of the proliferative phase. During the proliferative phase, that is scar production, ultrasound also have stimulating effect on cellular regulation, though primary active targets are now fibroblast, endothelial cell and microfibroblast. These are cells proliferation that are normally active during scar production, and ultrasound is therefore pro-proliferative in the same way that it is pro-inflammatory. It does not change the normal proliferative phase but maximizes its efficiency, producing the required scar tissue in an optimal fashion. During the remodeling phase of repair, the somewhat generic scar that is produced in the initial stage is refined such that it adopts functional characteristics of the tissue that is repairing. A scar in ligament will not become ligament but will behave more like a ligamentous tissue. This is achieved by a number of processes but mainly related to the orientation of collagen fiber in the developing scar and also to the change in collagen type, predominantly type 3 collagen to a more dominant type 1 collagen. The remodeling process is certainly not a short duration phase. Research has shown that it can last for a year or more, yet it is an essential component in quality repair. Now, the application of therapeutic ultrasound can influence the remodeling of scar tissue in that it appears to be capable of enhancing appropriate orientation of newly formed collagen fiber and also to the collagen profile change from mainly type 3 to more dominant type 1 construction, thus increasing tensile strength and enhancing scar mobility. Ultrasound applied to tissues enhances the functional capacity of scar tissue. The role of ultrasound in this phase may also have the capacity to influence collagen fiber orientation. Other applications of ultrasound: it is also useful in fracture repair. Thank you.